there has been a slight change of plans, and we're going to go through this really fast, so you better pay attention if you want to pay attention. So, function is now called wheat status because function is now called wheat status because we still have down here in our main program loop, we still have wait for the wheat, but it was just getting really complicated. So what we're going to do is have a little function up here that's called wheat status. So after this, we're going to write our function called wait for the wheat, and inside that, we're not going to have it do all this complicated stuff to check. We're just going to have it run the function wheat status. And so it's just like every time we want to check if the wheat has grown, we're just like, okay, wheat status. And then there's this variable in here where it says wheat has grown, true or false. And that will make the code in the future a lot simpler. So anyways, this here, the wheat status, in order to check how much the wheat has grown, we first assume that the wheat has not grown. We first assume the wheat has not grown. Then we have a local variable here, and that is something that I don't understand how this works, but it keeps it local to something so that this variable doesn't get used for other programs or something, other programs or other functions or something. Not entirely sure what that does, but we have one of those here for some reason. Anyways, the local variable is block down, so it checks if there is a block down, because by the time it is here, it has already found the starting position, and it has refueled. And there are only two possible scenarios. Either there is a piece of wheat down there, or there is nothing there because the turtle has harvested it, but just didn't replant it before the world was restarted. So there's two possibilities. Either there is nothing there, or there is wheat there. So if there is a block down, so it checks for that. If there is a block down, then what block is down? It does the turtle.inspect down thing. And now it does here. If is block down, if there is a block below it, which would be the wheat. We're counting wheat as a block, by the way, for this test. But in any case, if there is a block down, then go ahead and check what block is down. And if what block down.name, we've got it in parentheses here, this whole evaluation, just so that it knows that all of this goes together. So if the name of the block that is down is Minecraft:wheat, and that is just in case it ever changes for some reason. And if what block is down dot metadata, if the metadata of it is equal to 7, because remember, it was the wheat that is grown is equal to 7. So if the wheat has fully grown, it will be called 7. So in other words, this part could be said to say if the wheat has fully grown. So if it first checks if there is a block, and then if that block is wheat, and if the wheat is fully grown, then say wheat has grown is equal to true. So wheat has grown. And if the wheat has not grown, or if there is no wheat there or something like that, then it will just continue assuming the wheat has not grown, and it will say false. And this wheat status function, there will be no loops in this one because the loops will be handled later in the future functions. This is just a simple check to check one single check if this is grown. So now what I was saying about using this as a sub function, let's go ahead and set that up right now. So let's write a new function, and let's call this one wait for the wheat, and this should be a lot simpler because all we have to do is a very simple matter of we need it to check if the wheat has grown. So first of all, we need it to run this function we just defined up here, wheat status. We need it to check the wheat status. So let's go ahead and tell it to do that. Wheat status. There we go. And now it has checked that. Now we need to say if, and it has access to this variable that's up higher up on the screen there from the wheat status function, the wheat has grown variable. If wheat has grown, and this makes it easier to read as well, doing the two functions like this, the sub function. So waiting for the wheat, first thing it does, checks the wheat status, and if wheat has grown is equal to true, we don't even need to type in is equal to true, because if wheat has grown, then it will do the stuff in the wheat, in the place here. And what it's going to do is wait for the wheat. It is waiting until the wheat has grown. So if the wheat has grown, then wait a second. Oh, even easier is another repeat loop. These are very helpful because we want it to check once. Whether the wheat has grown or not. So we want it to have a repeat loop. And so what we're going to have it do, repeat, and we are going to have it, you see, it is not too complicated, although it is fairly complicated. We shall see. So repeat until wheat has grown is true. Repeat until wheat has grown. So we want it to repeat. What we want it to do is it checks the status of the wheat. And then if the wheat's status is that it has grown, if the wheat has grown, then it will move on from this wait for the wheat function into the next function. Now what we need it to do is we need it in waiting for the wheat. We need it, this could be a little bit complicated because we need it to wait, because that's the key, is wait for the wheat. So if the wheat has not yet grown, wheat takes a long time to grow. So we want it to not lag the game too much because of having too many turtles running things. So what we want it to do is we want it to actually stop and wait for a good long time, at least 60 seconds, something like that. But here's the problem with this repeat loop, is if it does this, where can we put the os.sleep? Where can we tell it to sleep unless it runs the sleep at least once? But what we can do is, we can put that in an if statement of itself. So first it checks the wheat status, and then if wheat has grown is equal to false, then, so if the wheat has not grown, there we go. So inside its own if statement down here, and then we want it to do os.sleep, and let's say 120 seconds. There we go. That would be 2 minutes, and that is that. And you know what? That's too long. Let's make it 90 seconds. There we go. Save. So if the wheat has not grown, then it will wait 90 seconds, and then it will, so here we go. So it will start, let's start at the beginning. So it starts wait for the wheat, and it starts a repeat loop. It checks the status of the wheat, and if the wheat has not grown, then it will sleep for 90 seconds, and then it will check if it needs to repeat this loop if wheat has grown, and if it has not grown, then this until thing goes back to the repeat, and then goes again. If it comes through and finds the wheat has grown, it will not run this if statement, it will not sleep, and it will go down to here, check if wheat has grown, and it has, so then it moves on. So that is the idea. So wait for the wheat is successful, and we can use this wheat status function in a bunch of future things, such as harvest backwards. Harvest backwards, we need to definitely know if the wheat has grown or not. So let's go ahead and back this guy up. He's kind of in the way. So let's terminate the Lua thing and go back. 5, there we go, and he's gone. And now we need to have this thing harvest backwards. And there we go. This will be very difficult to test, by the way, the waiting for the wheat thing, because we kind of have to wait for the wheat in order to test it, so it's going to take a long time. Harvest backwards. We wanted to harvest backwards, and we want it, that should be fairly simple. Should be fairly simple. Oh, we need to tell it is a function that we are defining. Function harvest backwards. There we go. And that is that. So end, and then that is that. So harvest backwards, and we need it to do something very simple. We need it to walk backwards 1, or rather move backwards 1, and then check if the wheat has grown, and then harvest if it has grown. And so I think that would be a simple matter of we have it start by go backwards, and oh, actually, here's another problem. Is that when it reaches the end, it has to know that it has reached the end, which is a problem. So we need it to actually, you know what? Let's put this wool not down here, but instead let's put it above the turtle. Let's put it above the turtle. And whoops, let's not break the floor, please. Because if we put it above the turtle, then we have the benefit. We have the benefit of the turtle does not have to sort out all the things of checking below, because he's checking below for wheat, he's checking above for where he is. That's the basic idea. He's checking below for wheat and above for where he is. And so if he finds a chest, he knows he's at the beginning. If he finds wool, he knows he's at the end. That is the idea. So let's go ahead and have him do this, and I'll figure this out and be back with you in a minute. Actually, come to think of it, the chest function where he's looking for a chest, I think it only checks if the block above is above. It doesn't check if it is a chest. Let's see. Turtle.detect up. Yes. If turtle.detect up. So it just checks for a block above in order to find its starting position in the first place. So if the world restarts and the turtle is way back here underneath this, then it will say, oh, there's a block above, and so it's fine. So rather than recoding all of that, I think it might be easier just to put all these things down on ground level. And with them down on ground level, then we can move on without having to reprogram our first function. So there we go. So now we'll be back in a minute. Alrighty, I think this is ready to go. So we're going to go through this really quickly once again, so better pay attention if you want to pay attention. So function harvest backwards. So what it is going to do, it is going to go backwards, and here's the thing. First, so we have all this in a repeat loop. It's going to repeat this going backwards and stuff until it reaches the wool. So that's what it's doing. And first thing it does is wheat status. It checks, uses this status function that we just created up here, wheat status. Now we head back down here and harvest backwards. So first thing it does is it checks the status of the wheat. Then it checks if the wheat has grown. If it has grown, then it will dig down, which I think is the command to break the wheat. And so if it has grown, so it goes back 1. And wait, no, it didn't go back 1. Okay, yes, so it checks the wheat, and then it digs it, and then goes back 1. That's basically it. So dig down, and if it has grown, and then it goes back. If it finds a place where it has not grown like this, then it will just ignore that and move back. That is good. Now, goes on to here where it checks if there is a block below, and what block is below, and turtle.inspect down, all that stuff. And now we move on to the final line, which is until, so repeat all of this, keep going backwards every block, until there, first of all, is a block down, because we could run into a situation where there is no block down for some strange reason. That could happen, and we don't want the program to be completely crashing. So if there is a block down, and if what block down dot name, if the name of the block is Minecraft : wool, then it will be done the harvest backwards function. So it will go backwards until it finds out that it is over top of wool, at which point it will stop the move backwards function and just stay there. That is the idea. So we need to go ahead and test this. Now here's the thing. In order to test the harvest backwards thing, oh, first of all, one more thing that we forgot to do is put in here, we need to print the line to the screen, print so that we know what is happening when we troubleshoot the turtle. Print running harvest Words. There we go. And that is not how you spell backwards. That is not how you spell backwards. It is, let's try to do this the other way around. There we go. Backwards. And so while it is running this, in order to test this, it is going to be very difficult because of the fact that we're waiting for the wheat, and this particular piece of wheat does not appear to be growing very fast. So let's go ahead and comment out wait for the wheat. So it is not going to wait for the wheat right now. Let's go ahead now and restart this thing. And not edit, but let's run wheat harvest in a line. Now, if we press this, it should go ahead and go backwards and harvest all of the grown wheat, but none of the not grown wheat, and then stop on top of the wool. That is what it should do. And whoops. Wait, wheat harvest in a line. There we go. Running start, find starting position, refuel. And oh, there we go. It is going backwards, and it is harvesting the ones that it should be harvesting and ignoring the other ones. That is excellent indeed. It is working according to plan already. It is on its way backwards. Going to harvest those last two and stop over top of the wool. Yes! It stopped over top of the wall, and it is ready to move frontwards, which is excellent indeed. And I think that is enough for today. We're going to have to continue with this next week, and perhaps this video will already be split into 2 sections or something, or maybe 3 sections. I don't know. It kind of time goes really fast while you're programming, but in any case, next time we're going to be working on the future things of we have found the starting position, we have refueled, we have done a whole lot of things, we have waited for the wheat, we have, let's go ahead and uncomment that just in case we forget to do it later, and we have waited for the wheat, we have harvested backwards, and now we just have to plant forwards and sort the important things next time. So yeah, so we have now got the turtle to go backwards, and now he has to go forwards and then sort the items, and we need to deal with all of the items things over here and sort through them and do things with them and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. We currently tried to program this thing, do all the details and stuff like that, and make it somewhat simple, sort of somewhat simple for somebody, but that's sort of a lot of alliteration. That's why the phrasing and stuff like that. But in any case, that is that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and stuff like that. If you have any suggestions, particularly for what to do with these chests up here, how to get the lava buckets distributed evenly, I think if we just go ahead and have a turtle going through and filling them up, or maybe a sample pipe or something, that might be a good idea. Not entirely sure exactly, but if you have any suggestions, let me know, and I'll see how long that suggestion might take to do, because of the fact that we have been working on this for a long time. We need to get back to going to space fairly soon, so we need to get this thing done and then move on to space, and then come back after we go to space and finish up a few things, and then eventually start a full-on base in space and stuff like that. That's the idea for the future. But for next time in particular, we're going to do the task of making this guy go forwards. It sounds like a fairly simple task, and perhaps it will be, but you never know with programming. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and stuff like that, and see you guys later. Bye-bye!